Alek Komarnitsky. I've been a Boulder resident for about 20 years. Was pretty heavily involved in the Rocky Mountain Internet User Group that some of you may have gone to. And so it's been interesting seeing all the high tech go on in Boulder. So when I saw the article in the Boulder Camera here talking about the small business thing, I thought, oh, it might be kind of interesting to go to and see what people are up to. But I saw this last little note here that said people who built stuff just for fun. So I kind of RSVP'd, and I said, well, I got something that's kind of fun. I don't know if we want to show it or not. It's not really a business, but I thought I would show it today. Let's see if I can grab the cursor here, which now is not going to work. We'll bring up this. Someone asked about the Hulk. There's the obligatory picture of the Hulk that I pulled up real quick. What I'm going to talk about is what I call Christmas lights for celiac disease. This guy's been walking a long ways right here. But I want to give you a little history about that first. How many of you remember last year, 2005, a pretty big Christmas story was the guy who had the lights controlled with music, and they were doing all this. They had a Bud Light commercial on ESPN. And then the year before, in 2004, a pretty big story was about some guy at a house. We had webcams where you could watch his Christmas lights and not only look at the Christmas lights, you could actually turn those on and off. And that ended up kind of making a little bit of waves. It ended up being a pretty big story from a media point of view. Here's kind of what the house looked like. That's actually my house. That's what it looks. That's my mother down there with my kids. And that's what it looks like at sunrise. And so the media got kind of excited about this, and then next thing I knew, the Associated Press wrote a little story that went like every media organization in the world. And then some of the TV stations kind of picked up on it. And my sound card's not working, but that's me goofing around. And then I even kind of had fun. The guys over at Channel 7 took me over in their helicopter, and that was kind of fun. So you could kind of watch the lights blink. Now this is a technology crowd here, so you can imagine there was a lot of technology involved in having webcams look at Christmas lights and people able to turn them on and off. And the whole idea was you could go to the web, and you could hit a button, on your web browser, and you can make things turn on and off like I did there. You could even turn this fan on and off. There's only one problem in 2004. There were no webcams. The only thing people were changing was a picture on the computer screen. The only time the lights blinked the entire month when I was up in the chopper, and my wife was using this thing to turn them on and off. Otherwise, the lights just stayed the same. So that was arguably kind of a neat use of technology. It was an interesting simulation that just got blown out of proportion by the media. So what happened then is 2 days after Christmas, the Wall Street Journal wrote an article, and I should mention that I actually called the Wall Street Journal 2 days before Christmas, said I had an interesting story, and they kind of ran it and had some fun with it. So I did it out myself. So I kind of had fun in 2004, 15 minutes of fame, blah, 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 blah. And then, I decided, what should I do in 2005? Well, 2005, I decided I'd do it for real. So I got some webcams. This is actually a D-Link DCS 6620G wireless webcam. They're about $700-800 a piece. I actually got 3 of these. D-Link gave me 1, but I had to buy the other 2. And I've always had X10 at my house, so you could always, do little stupid geek tricks, turn it on and off. But then I had to write some Perl code, to integrate from the website over to here, this little wireless controller and stuff like that. And then something else I thought might be kind of fun to do, and that kind of comes back to a little bit of the theme here, is what I call Christmas lights for celiac disease. My kids have something called celiac. It's intolerance to gluten, means no beer, no burger, stuff like that. And so I've worked with the University of Maryland to raise money. And so what happens is, this is actually what the screen looks like right now, is various companies have donated money, to show up on the high volume website. And so that was a lot of fun in 2005. It was interesting. The press was a little more careful this year when they came out. Rocky Mountain News actually made 5 visits, including one that they didn't tell me about. They concluded I did do it for real, but I'll let you decide if that was really the case or not. And so for 2006, I'm going to try it again. It was kind of fun. I've got a few extra bells and whistles to throw together. Again, I mentioned that over $13,000 has been raised from people who just go to the website, make a donation directly to the University of Maryland. And then, I'm hoping, let's see if this is a live connection right here. And, well, we may or may not work here.
State of the art.
Yeah. So there we go. So unfortunately, I'm not going to call my wife up because she doesn't approve of this stuff. and say, honey, can you run out there on the driveway? And then someone was talking about real estate in the previous presentation. We'll see if this comes up. This is actually over by Marshall Road that's under construction. A friend of mine has a thing there that I kind of set up. So I think I've told you why I'm doing this, because I don't know, it's good for, it's fun. And you know, so the challenges are, people say, well, geez, why didn't you do it for real? You know, it's so much more work to a simulation. Well, yes and no. You know, things like, you know, your 802.11 signal dies. There's a little wireless antenna on these things, and the one across the street, the neighbor's house, I have a little Katina, you know, range extender to try to pick that up. You have rain come in, lights go out. And I had inflatables at Halloween, Frankenstein died, fuses, stuff like that. So there's kind of the mundane stuff, and then another challenge that I think this group might appreciate, there's some serious scalability issues, because this gets just a little bit of traffic. And so I actually, and what makes this doubly hard is it's a real-time application. It's not like something you can cache up and load balance across, you know, 10 different servers. So I've actually got 4 servers this year. It'll be kind of fun, one for each webcam, one for the main thing. And that's kind of what things will look like. It's unfortunate I'm not doing this presentation a week from now, because I'd have the Halloween you know, warm-up all going. So again, I don't have a business plan or anything like that. I thought it was just kind of fun and geeky. I think that was one of the words you kind of used, and thought I would show you something I'm doing that, you know, if you got nothing else better to do, don't watch grass grow, but you can come by and, you know, turn Frankenstein on and off. I got Homer Simpson this year. He's gonna be fun. He's a big inflatable. So that's all I got. Any questions?
How much power running to the house?
In 2005, it was 26,000 lights, and if I remember right, that was about 70 to 80 amps. And so the question everyone asks, what's your electric bill do? And I always like tell people it spins like hell, and I like to leave it at that. But there's a little more to the story. It does spin like hell, but if you actually do the arithmetic, you know, on 6 hours a night, 30 days, it basically works out to about an incremental of about $150 a month. Now it's less if people are turning the lights off, because actually, even though I had more lights in 2005, people could actually turn them off. In 2004, I had less lights, and even though people thought they were turning them off, they're actually just staying on all the time. So I always, you know, wonder if we have the environmental people, you know, duking it out with the people that want to see the lights. So it's not quite as wasteful as you might think. But most people think, oh my God, your electrical bill must be. I mean,
well, but it's still a normal circuit for Excel, right? You didn't have to upgrade at all.
No, I did not. No, I have a 200 amp circuit, and I talked about load balancing on the web server side. There's definitely some load balancing required on the circuit side. You know, the last thing I want is the media to write a story that, you know, Mr. Christmas Lights dude burns down his house.
Have you seen National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, no,
Could be your inspiration.
No. In fact, my inspiration in 2005 was to actually do more lights than Clark Griswold. Does anyone remember how many lights Clark Griswold had in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation? It's 25,000, but he had the big C9 bulbs. Oh. In 2005, I had 26,000 lights, so I finally beat him. There's a lot I could say about this, but I know my time's limited. Anything else? I think
it seems like the next step is to parallelize this and start getting your neighbors to also have lights. So
I have real good neighbors that tolerate this, but that would be an idea. Something that would be really cool, and you can't really see it too well in this picture right here. Although if you look at the timestamp, and this will be the last thing I'll say, Robert, okay? It's actually a JPEG refresh. It's updating every 3 seconds. Okay, there's not too much action going on when the grass grows. But it'd be really cool to stream a video. But those of you that are techies know that the bandwidth requirements for that would be really, really onerous. Any last questions? Thanks, Robert.
Great, thank you.